Hello, tech writers. It's time to start thinking about your final group, project, and presentation. Ignore any due dates and times you see in this video and instead check your course for the due dates and times that apply to your assignments. Also, I want to be upfront and let you know that some of the materials that I look at in this video won't be available the first time you watch it. There are some things that I'm going to keep locked until the end of the semester. So if you see me go over something and it's not available the first time you watch this video, don't panic. Just come back. I'm going to make things available as you need them. Also, there might be some words and phrases and things I mention in this video that won't make sense the first time you watch it. So I'll try to put reminders in the weekly modules for you to come back and review the materials in this module from time to time. Because each time you look over these materials, they'll make more sense. Let's start with the everything you need to know about the final group project presentation. You'll be working in groups from now on, and I think that's something that's worth knowing right away. Now, I'll use the word group and team interchangeably. It's not really that different of a word, but just know if I mention your teammates or your group members, it's the same thing. Now, that doesn't really mean a whole lot for you. You'll be participating in discussions exactly like you've been doing all along. The only real difference is that when you've posted up until this point, everybody in the class sees your post. And going forward, Brightspace will automatically assign you to a group, and when you post something, only your group members will see it. And likewise, when they post, only their group members or you will see it. That's all. Other than that, there should be no real change in the discussion forums. Next, let's explain the assignment. Everybody who takes EN105 has to complete some kind of group project with a presentation. So here's how I'm laying it out. We're going to pretend that your group or your team has been hired by a busy executive. That's one of our vocab words from the different audience levels. And this executive owns a successful home decor company. The executive had a bathroom mirror produced overseas, and unfortunately, the executive contracted the manufacturer of that mirror to create the technical document with the installation instructions. There have been some complaints from customers that those instructions are incorrect. They're confusing, incomplete, unclear. And so the executive has hired us, or, well, your group, to revise that technical document. Now, in the coming weeks, and in this video and in other videos, I'll call it the technical document, the instruction sheet, LK mirror instructions, the mirror instructions, LK installation instructions. You'll hear me call it a bunch of different things because I'm making these videos over several different days. But just know, when I talk, the technical document or the instruction sheet will be this LK mirror instruction manual, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. Now, the product itself, the mirror, it's beautiful, it's well made, it's reasonably priced. There's no problem with that at all. It's the instructions we're worried about, and it's your job to fix those instructions. The only thing we know from the executive is that customers are unhappy with the instructions. And as tech writers, it's our job to fix that. So the home decor company is paying us to fix the problem. You and your group will figure it out and fix the problems together over the next few weeks as you work in discussion forums, finally revise a technical document, and create a video presentation. So to begin, here's a JPEG of the technical document that needs to be revised. Notice it's called the LK Instruction Manual. It's a document that shows how to install a mirror. And as I scroll through it, you'll probably see a few cringy things that just don't look right. And you'll have an opportunity to fix those things. But you won't be able to fix the document you're looking at. This is a JPEG, which means you can't make any changes to it. I wanted to give you access to the document so you can start looking at it and thinking about it. Later in the semester, around week 15, I'll give you another version that you can make changes to. Here's some other things we have from the executive. For some reason, the executive didn't give us a mirror to look at in real life in person. We got pictures instead. So here's a photo of the back of the mirror. Not sure if that's helpful or not. And here's a picture of the things that come with it to install it. Now, I'm a non-specialist. That's one of your vocab words from the different audience types. And so unfortunately, I don't know what any of this stuff is or does. You will have to do some research with your group and figure out what the little doodads are to hang it up and how they work. The executive didn't tell me, so I can't tell you. How will you be graded? So your grade is based on your individual work in the discussions and on the other assignments that you encounter in the coming weeks. It's not a group grade. And so that means you should do your best to help each other, help your group members along the way. But if somebody in the group isn't doing anything, it's not going to hurt you. And if somebody in the group is just copying what you do, it's not going to hurt you. In other words, there's no reason to stress. Do your best work. And just be confident that I will notice who's working hard and who's hardly working. Now here are the assignments you can expect to complete over the next few weeks. You'll have several discussion forums, and you'll find those in the weekly modules exactly like we've been doing it all along. No change there. Near the end of the semester, you'll have access to that LK Mirror instruction sheet that I just showed you, except it won't be a JPEG. It'll be a version that you can actually download and edit. So keep checking back for that version to become available to you. And you'll find a Dropbox for that document and its revisions in this module you're in right now. And that Dropbox will become available to you later in the semester, somewhere around week 15. You'll also have to make and upload a video of yourself discussing the problems you found on that technical document and the fixes you made to it. Now, you'll share a link to your video, and you'll find a Dropbox where you can share that link with me in the module you're in right now. It's not available to you immediately. Again, around week 15, these Dropboxes will open up. Let's click through and look at some of the other stuff we have. Here's the JPEG of that technical document with the mirror installation instructions. You can look at it, but you can't make changes to it yet. Here's the version of the instructions that you can make changes to. And the first time you watch this video, maybe the second time you watch it, this document will not be available. I'm going to keep it locked until around week 15. In week 15, you'll be able to open this up, download it or view it in your Office 365 account and make changes to it. Now here's the Dropbox where you'll submit that revised document. And I'll go over this in another video later in the semester, but I also want to go over it here. So, you'll be working on revising that terribly written LK Mirror instruction sheet. You'll be working with a group. As tech writers, we are responsible for helping readers better understand material quickly. And remember, your average reader is a non-specialist. So brevity and clarity should be our top priority as tech writers. Along the way, we'll collaborate in groups and work in discussions to rework the 4 steps on that instruction sheet. We're not quite done though. There's more to it than just 4 steps. There's some other stuff that needs to be fixed. So you will fix that document in its entirety. So step 1. You'll want to review that page from earlier in the semester called A Little Something About Audiences, because when we get to week 15, I am going to change roles, and I won't be your teacher anymore. I'm going to become an executive, so I'll be playing a role of a busy, rich executive, and I won't have the knowledge to help you revise that document. So you'll have to rely on your group for help, and your job as a group will be to figure out how to fix my document and get it back to me on time. Step 2. You'll have access to the fixable Word file version of my instruction sheet. You'll download it to your device. You could save it to Office 365 or your cloud, whatever you know how to do, and you'll make adjustments to that document. And if this link doesn't work, don't stress too much about it. You'll have access to that file several different ways, week 15, week 16, and elsewhere in this final group project presentation module. Don't worry, the file will be easy to find. Download it, and you'll be able to make your changes. And if you happen to lose the file, you can just download a new version of it. Step 3. You'll review that entire document carefully and fix all the text errors that you think need fixing. And this is your chance to show that you understand what tech writing is all about. You'll make it clearer, shorter, more appropriate, more uniform for the average non-specialist reader. It's up to you to improve the text. And remember, you're a tech writer. I'm an executive at this point when we get to week 15, so you won't be able to ask me questions. I'll be too busy making money being a busy executive. Step 4. You'll save your file as a PDF. That's how you stabilize a Word document. You'll find a video to help in week 15 that I'll show you how to save your Word file as a PDF. If you're not using Office 365, like if you're using Google Docs, you'll have to figure that out on your own. But by the time you get there, I think you'll have an idea how to do that. I've kind of worked it into the course. Step 5. Upload your finished, revised LK Mirror instruction technical document to this Dropbox, which is where we are right now. And then move on and work on your video. There's a Dropbox for that too. Before I click through and look at that next Dropbox, let's take a look at the rubric for the revised instruction sheet. I always try to keep my rubrics very, very clear. So you'll find at the top of that instruction sheet a black box. You'll need to make sure that you make that text clear, perfect, understandable. You'll have steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 on that instruction sheet. And you want to make sure that the text is very clear, very brief, very easy to read and understand. There's a box or a section called Attention on that document. And it might help if I actually pull the document up. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Here we go. So notice, we've got our black box at the top. We've got our steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here's your attention. We've got notice 1 and notice 2. So you see all of these things are on the rubric, and these are the things that you may or may not have to make changes to. I'm not going to tell you what needs changing. I'm going to leave it to you to make the revisions and use your best judgment and work with your group. Let's get back to that rubric. Okay, so I'll then look at the document as a whole and assess the overall clarity of it. Do the steps all look uniform? Is the language consistently clear and brief, or are you kind of all over the place? Sometimes you're using like really complicated language, and sometimes you're using one word. And then I'll look at the overall neatness, and that just consists of making sure that the black box is centered, that the images are still clear and in their place, that the document pretty much looks like the document I gave you, just with better wording. So that's a total of 10 points. Then the video. So in week 13, we'll share some resources that will help you better understand how to upload a video to YouTube. So don't worry about that right now. Worry about that around week 13. So as part of this final project presentation, you have to make a 2 to 5 minute video of yourself going over the revisions you made to the mirror instructions. You've got a couple of ways you can do this. One would be just to put your phone on a tripod and physically go over the changes you made. You could hold the document up, or you could put it on a tripod, looking at the document on a desk, and then just go over the changes. Another way, you could do it exactly like I do my screenshot videos. This is easy if you have a Mac, because Macs come with QuickTime. If you're on a PC, it's doable too. There are programs you can use on PC to do this, but you'll have to get a little more creative. Macs come with a screen recording program. PCs, I don't know if they do. Either way, post your video to YouTube. You'll know how to do that from week 13. And make sure to set it as unlisted, and then share your link here with me. So as you're uploading your video, you'll get to this screen, and just check the box for unlisted. I've got the big arrow pointing at it here. When you select unlisted, that means the people you want to see the video will be able to see it, because you will give them a link, but nobody else can see the video. And so that keeps it hidden from everybody else. So that way, but you have to make sure and check the unlisted box. And then you have to give me a link. So, make sure you do both of those things. Select unlisted and share the link with me. And you'll see there'll be a text box here. You just paste the link in. Let's take a look at the rubric for the video. So I'll be checking your length. Did you keep it between 2 and 5 minutes? Don't make it too long. Don't make it too short. I'll be checking the link. You have to give me a working link, and that I have to be able to view the video. If I go to click your link and nothing happens because you didn't make it unedited, or if you copy and paste only part of the link, unfortunately, I won't be able to give you points. The sound. I have to be able to hear you pretty clearly, and I have to be able to understand you. So you want to speak into the microphone on your phone or your headphones or whatever you're using. Definitely explain the changes you made, and explain them thoroughly and clearly. Don't leave, don't make changes and then ignore them in the video. And then I'll be checking the overall professionalism. You don't want to have a lot of long pauses where and I don't know. You don't want to have your dog barking in the background, or you don't want to accidentally not record anything and it's just sound with no screen at all, or you don't want to have the TV or music playing in the background, or other unprofessional sort of things happening. So be mindful of that. If your video is a little rough, it'll cost you the point there. So that's a total of 5 points for the video. And so that's all the materials that you have to worry about. When you come in here, probably in week 15, these drop boxes will be available. The first time you watch this video, they probably won't, and don't panic. It's not a big deal. That I'm doing that on purpose. So, if you have any questions about anything related to this project, up to week 14, I'll be playing the role of your teacher. And you'll be able to email me here in Brightspace, and I'll do my best to clarify. In week 15, I'm going to change roles and become an executive. And so you're going to have to rely more on your fellow group members for help than me. And so keep that in mind going forward. Okay, that's all I have for now. If you have any questions up to week 14, message me in Brightspace. After week 14, you'll have to communicate with your fellow group members.